Guys, we just had some incredible men jump inside the Daring Academy, and I really want to pass on the beautiful lessons and gifts to support all of you. Now, I've had thousands of conversations with gay men all around the world: Asia, Europe, US, Canada, Australasia, and I've noticed something is that there is a certain person that would stay stuck in the same cycle for years, in a body they don't feel good in relationships that aren't fulfilling, in a career they don't love, and they kind of repeat the same thing over and over again. And then there's that 5-10% of people that I worked with and really supported on, where they create phenomenal change, transformations in their lives, where they build the bodies, the relationships, the love, the lives that really deeply fulfills them, that excites them, that people look at and go, oh shit, like how did this person do it? That astounds them and delights them and is exciting. Now, I want to really share with all of you in this live the key lessons that I've distilled from what separates those that succeed and those that stay stuck. Hey champion, good to see you here, doing very good. Drop questions as you see them, by the way. We'd love to hear what you take away from this. So the number one thing, right, is the person that stays stuck in the same cycle is repeating the same thing. They keep on doing the same thing, and they are not fully admitting to themselves that things aren't going to change unless they change. They're not admitting to themselves that things are not going to change unless they change. And really hear that, right? Because in order for life to transform, in order for you to build the body you want, the relationships, and most people will look for the outside until work gets easier, until people give me the permission, until I have more time, right? Until the holiday is over, until I get the promotion. But life will keep on happening. And the only common denominator here, guys, is you, ourselves, right? Unless you choose to become that person, life isn't going to give you the conditions. Now, the people that win really realize that, right? The three men that jumped in recently, they all realized, like, if I don't change, if I don't choose myself, if I don't back myself, nothing's going to change. So that's number one. Another thing that's so important I've seen is the men who stay stuck, they're so focused on the outside. And by the outside, I mean they focus on these things like philosophies, right? Like, I don't like the gay community because they're so superficial or shallow, or I don't like how people are hooking up or doing these things, right? I don't like things on the outside, but they're not truly addressing the number one thing, back again, ourselves. When you see yourselves in the mirror, what do you see? And I don't mean just physically, your physical appearance, but what is the characteristics? Do you see someone that is backing yourself, that trusts yourself, that really bets on yourself? Or do you see someone that is avoiding responsibility? Do you see someone that tries and gives up? Do you see someone that isn't owning yourself? Now, the men who win, they face themselves, right? Instead of blaming the economy, the politicians, other people, they really see themselves in the mirror and go, what do I want for myself? Not for anybody else, but just what do I want? And they ask the hard questions, where they really ask, like, what do I want for myself? Yeah. Now, this is so important, right? Is unless you ask yourself, what do I want for myself? Sorry, I just saw some emails come on through. What do I want for myself? You're going to spend your entire lives in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s of living a life for other people. Now, next one. the people that make change, they are decisive and they take fast action. They realize that unless they take decisive action today, tomorrow doesn't come. You can keep on saying tomorrow, next month, next year. They realize that the only time is now. They also realize the harder truth, and this gets harder, right? Is that the more time you leave it, the more time goes by, the more you delay things, the harder it gets. It doesn't get easier, it gets harder. It costs you more mentally, emotionally, financially. It costs you physically. The people that create change realize I either take the bull by its horns, right, and truly make action today, or things will continue. The beautiful side, though, is that when you realize this, the true costs, right? Maybe it could be, if we talk about body, right? Clothing isn't fitting you, you feel self-conscious, you get inside your head, right? Maybe you're lacking the energy, right? Maybe your health is going downhill. Maybe you're snapping at your partner, you're snapping in your relationships, right? You get moody and grumpy and that takes over, right? How much is that costing you? Your mental clarity, if you don't have the full energy, how much is that costing you in your career, in your professional life? The people that make change realize very deeply, okay, this is not just one thing, because everything I do ripples out into everything else. Who I am ripples out into everything. The people that make change goes, okay, I am going to truly do this properly for myself, because I know if I pour right into my cup, my life's going to get better. I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to feel better in my own skin. I'm going to be able to give more to my relationships, give more in my career. As an example, we've had so many, whether business owners, executives, teachers, right, engineers, when they start to fill their own cup first, they start to realize, oh man, I'm getting more work done in less time, right? And their relationships, their sex lives get better. So they really realize, when you ask yourself the question, what is it costing you to stay stuck in the same spot, putting other people's needs first, not pouring into myself? What is it costing you for your dating life, your romantic life, your sex life? And then you see the flip side, which is, how good can things get? If I truly went for it myself, invested into myself, right, the time, the energy poured into myself, how good can things get? If you had the conviction, the confidence, the energy, when you see yourself in the mirror and you see someone you are so proud of, how does that change everything that you do in life? And it's not just a physical, superficial thing, right? It's not just I just want to look good. Oh yes, we can create that, but it's you believing in yourself. It's you feeling anchored in your own skin. It's you feeling complete within yourself, where you're not searching and seeking, chasing for external validation, but it's sourced internally. And that kind of man, that version of you, has a completely different relationship to the rest of the world versus the version of you that is continuously chasing that validation. Next thing that separates the people that win, they realize they got to get outside their comfort zone. Right? You can stay in the same comfort over and over again, in your same habits, right? By staying in the same comfort, it gets more and more uncomfortable as time goes by. However, the people that realize, okay, I'm going to do the uncomfortable thing on a daily basis, they get to build their lives where it gets more and more comfortable, right? Which is the ironic, paradoxical thing. If you don't get outside your comfort zone, your life doesn't change. Now, if you're hearing all this, by the way, and going, okay, I'm sick and tired of excuses. I want to get unstuck. I want to create change. One other thing that you got to realize, that I've personally realized for myself, because I have community, I have support, right? The men I work with have community and support, is that yes, you've got to make that decision. No one can choose for you. You've got to bet on yourself for yourself. And at the same time, you want to bulletproof things. You want to guardrail things. Meaning you want the community, the people around you, because you deeply realize, the people that win realize that you become the people around you. If your family, your friends, the people around you either don't have the habits that you want, right? Or they don't really support you on your vision and goals, or they don't understand where you're at and where you want to go. Yes, can you do things good for a week? Probably. Can you do things good for a month? Can a human bet on themselves and continuously show up for themselves for a whole year, 12 months, for 24 months, if the people around them aren't on the same wavelength? I dare say it's impossible, right? I certainly didn't create change myself alone, and none of my mentors, coaches, none of my clients, right? I haven't seen people do it. Now, you may be an exception. For the people that win, I've seen, have community, they have the support. One other thing as well, last thing, is knowledge and results are very different things. The people that win, I've spoken with so many men that say, I know what to do, I have the knowledge. Maybe you have a teaching background, maybe you studied personal training, maybe you've studied human psychology, right? Maybe you've read about things, maybe you talk with ChatGPT, maybe you had a trainer in the past, but it's very different knowing what to do and actually becoming the person that does it. Those are two completely different things. In modern day society now, you can go online and find information all over the place. We don't lack knowledge. A lot of the cases isn't a big gap. Though yes, we can close the gap. There may be knowledge that you're lacking, but the biggest thing is actually becoming the person. How do you become the person that when life gets challenging, when life is throwing you 20 different things at the same time, when you got a busy work life, there's family, there's emergencies, and you still show up for yourself? That is the differentiating factor. Now, the men that I work with, right, and the men who I see create incredible changes in their lives, they realize that, okay, I can have all the knowledge in the world, but if I don't truly act like that person, and I don't truly act on a daily basis, if I don't become that person, that knowledge doesn't mean anything. The people that win goes, okay, I actually need to show up and do the thing. They take the bold actions. With all of that in mind, right, I'm very curious to hear, as you're hearing all of this, what are the areas that as you hear, you go, okay, in order for me to win, who do I need to become? If you're asking that question, you are already separating yourself to the top 5, 10, even 1, 2% of people that succeed. Because that is a multi-million-dollar question. Who do I need to become? Right? And if you're asking yourself the question of, okay, I really want to create change. I want to do things properly. I want to become this person. I want the support. I want the guidance. I want to really have the structures and strategies in place, right? But not just have the knowledge, but actually become the person. You're like, hey, it's my time. I'm done with excuses. I'm done with cycling the same vicious cycle over and over again. I'm ready to step into this new identity. By new identity, by the way, it's not actually, you're not becoming someone else. We're actually stripping away all the stuff that isn't you, getting to the core of things and going, I'm going to become this version, who I know I can be. If that is you, right, and you want to create the body, but even more so, you're seeing beyond the body, you want to create a true transformation, I would love for you to drop in the link here. I put in our deep dive form. It goes deeper than any other forms, right? Any other place where it goes deeper than you've gone. Would love for you to complete this. Send me a message if you're jumping in here, right? Just like, hey Jared, I'm completing the form. I'll be on the lookout for you. It's go time. It's time for transformation. By the way, deep dive form, it's intense. It's not easy. It's not a fast, superficial fix. But I've also seen the men who truly complete it and take their time. It doesn't take too long. A day, a couple of hours maximum, right? But the men who truly go for it and put their heart and soul into it, man, even just by doing the form, changes their lives. I'll be on the lookout for your form. We've got some exciting announcements coming up as well. Our Desired as Fuck Challenge, which is coming. You're going to hear more about it. It's coming in August for you to really tap in and activate this identity. But for those of you who's like, I'm ready now, today, versus waiting for the challenge or waiting for next month, waiting for the perfect moment, go ahead and drop in the form over here. I'll be on the lookout for you and looking forward to seeing you shortly.